So what I want to call this new science is open source life design. There's a t-shirt no, I'm just kidding. Open source life design. Phase 1 goal, distill the necessary and sufficient social technologies that can be applied flexibly and synergistically for local application. Harvest and study existing social technology solutions that maximize sustainable well-being. All of this is like a no-brainer. Like the research that we do in our lab, this is a no-brainer. How do these social technologies synergize with the hardware technologies to enhance sustainable well-being? We can measure sustainable well-being and the causes. We can highlight the successes, all with the goal of distilling the necessary and sufficient social technologies. Like, it would be wonderful to be able to stand up here and tell you, we have now figured out the 50 software solutions necessary for sustainable well-being, but I can't tell you that. Phase 2 is deploy this technology in test fields with corrective feedback. My dream team: psychologist, a medical person, environmental scientist, economist, anthropologist. These are people who already know how to do these things, right? But we do get siloed in our specialties. So I just wanted to give you a little appetizer about social technologies that I think are at least necessary. I don't know if they're sufficient. They're probably not, okay? Avoid the 4 horsemen. You know this? In your marriages, in your love relationships, in your work relationships, avoid the 4 horsemen like the plague. They are criticism, contempt, defensiveness, and stonewalling. And here are the halo things that we can do. Complain and fight early and often. How's that sound? Everybody's like, yeah, let's complain and fight early and often. Right on. What I would tell you is it's either a choice between complaining and fighting early and often, or waiting till all that stuff builds up and you scream like a lunatic about the toothpaste. Agreed upon short breaks. Things are getting a little bit riled up with my wife. On my good days, I go, okay, let's take a break. And on her good days, she says, okay. And we go back in 15 minutes. This is really cool. Did you know this? If you're in your life, you want positive to negative affect interactions in a ratio of 5-to-1. So you got a problem person in your life, you go like this: hey, how you doing, Sue? Great, me too. 1. Hey, how you doing, Sue? Good to see you. Looking good. That's 2. I got to build up 5 before I can have the negative interactions I always have with Sue. Neither invade nor abandon. Men, don't invade, don't dominate. Women, don't abandon self, right, in the name of caring for others. And I'm saying men and women because those are stereotypically, it's like what I see in my clinical practice. It's like I really feel like we train our boys to be narcissistic, to grow up to be narcissistic boys, and we train our women to caretake so much everybody else that they view it as selfish to take care of themselves. So, self-other balance. You can't take care of someone else if you're just like running on empty. Diversity, the right mix. The right mix means, I'll tell you a story about this. New York City, I was at a mindfulness training. This cop gets up and he says, for all of New York City, we have 4 people to process the child pornography. Seriously? 4? You're going to digest that much societal poison with 4 people? That's crazy. And that's what we do all the time. We go, like, let's take all the people with this problem and let's put them in one place so we can hire someone like Donald to treat them. And they become friends, and they socialize. This is a very bad model in some ways. But if you put these people in communities, all of a sudden they can actually become valuable. At our co-housing community, we have an autistic woman. We have 2 women who can't talk at all. They talk in terms of emotion. They grunt, but what they're doing, they grunt emotion, right? Now, in truth, our community needs other resources to help make those people a part of our community. But it illustrates how that diversity, like when introduced in ways that are manageable, is fine. The only thing I want to say here is that criticism you never do, but complain and fight early, good. Stonewalling, that means, yeah, whatever. Or that break, that lasts weeks, bad, don't do it. But breaks, yeah, everybody needs breaks. Take a negotiated break. How do you do this, Donald? You do your inner work, right? So that I'm not so reactive when other people are, if my wife slips and she goes, "You're such a jerk." She did a criticism. That's not good. But I can take a step back. I go, she doesn't think I'm a jerk. Probably. And I can respond in a different way. And the social supports that are necessary to make this happen. It's back to the influence of our social environment. If I'm stressed out working 70 hours a week, if I don't get enough sleep, if I'm drunk, these are all ways to reduce my capacity and make it almost impossible for me to do the non-habitual but more adaptive thing.